Hi, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. In this video, we're gonna take a look at the DAZN, more specifically DAZN Canada. Now, first of all, so you get an understanding, you have DAZN Austria, Germany, Japan, Switzerland, Canada, Italy, USA, and Spain. And you get different sports in different countries. So in the US is where you get the least. That's because DAZN is working right now in acquiring more rights. So it might take, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but anyways, that's what I read somewhere. But I know this is a boxing channel, so you guys are interested about boxing. So we're gonna get into that. But let's get back to DAZN Canada here. So with DAZN Canada, I mean, you get so much. It's crazy, man. All right. First of all, if you're a soccer fan and you live in Canada, you have to get DAZN. All right. I'm a soccer fan, a football fan. I prefer to say football, but I know some of you call it soccer, so we're gonna stick with soccer. You get a lot of soccer. You get the Champions League. And if you live in Canada, the only place where you can get the Champions League is DAZN. You get all the games. You get preview shows, review shows, highlight shows, documentaries. So it's a pretty interesting programming that you get just for the Champions League. You also have the Europa League, all the games. You have the Serie A, the Italian League. You have the MLS. The only downside with the MLS is that for games where Canadian teams play, like Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal, those games are shown, but they're delayed. That's the only downside. Other than that, you get all the games from the MLS. You also have La Liga, the Spanish league. If you want to watch Messi, Real Madrid, Barcelona, you got it on DAZN. You have Ligue 1, the French league. You don't have the English Premier League with DAZN. You do get the Championship, which is the second division. In my opinion, it's a very good league. It's very competitive. It's interesting to watch those relegation and promotional battles. So I like the Championship, to be honest. A lot of the teams are evenly matched. You also get the English the English League, which now it's called the Carabao Cup. I remember it used to be called the Carling Cup. You know, it always changes its name based on the sponsors. You also have English League One, which is the third division, and you get the Copa del Rey. So you get a lot of soccer for what, $12 a month in Canada? I think it's worth it. If you're an MMA fan, then guess what? You get some MMA with DAZN. Now you get MMA as well with DAZN USA. What type of MMA do you get? Well, you get Bellator fighting, which obviously is not as big as UFC, but it's equally as entertaining. I saw some of the matches that were in the vault, you could say, and man, I really like Bellator. And what I like about Bellator more specifically is that the fact that they do tournaments, and that takes me back to the old Pride FC days where they would hold these tournaments, the Pride Grand Prix tournaments. So man, it's great. So if you're an MMA fan, then you're gonna enjoy Bellator fighting. You also have Combate Americas, which is a Latin American MMA organization. So you get even more fights. If you live in Canada and you're an NFL fan, then you have to get DAZN as well. You have the NFL Game Pass, where you get the NFL Network, and you have all the games. My girlfriend and her brother are big NFL fans, and I've watched games with them, and they're not complaining. They love DAZN. So now let's get into boxing. If you're a boxing fan, well, you've been following the DAZN announcements and you know what's on DAZN. From now on, you're going to be getting all the Canelo fights. As you can see here, they're showing the Canelo Fielding event, which starts on September 15th. We have another fight here with Lebedev. You get access to what I call the Vault. You can watch every past event that there's been. You also get behind the scenes interviews, fight reviews, and you get this show that's called Total Combat, where they talk about every combat sport around the world. That includes UFC. They were talking in the last episode about Wilder and Fury. They were talking about One FC over there in Malaysia, which is an MMA organization. So it's a pretty interesting show. So you get all this additional content besides the live fights that I know you boxing fans are all interested in. In the US, it's you have to pay $10 per month to get access to the zone, and I think that's a pretty good deal for getting some MMA fights, but more specifically for you boxing fans getting all of this. So I think that the zone is it's a good idea. I think it's a future. All right, when it comes to the quality of the stream, I have absolutely no issues, and I've tested the zone in several different places, never had any issues. So I don't know, some people I see in the comments that complain about, oh, it's lagging or other issues that come with streaming. I haven't had any issues at all. I live in a big city. Maybe some people who are complaining live outside the city in the rural areas. Where to watch it? Well, I have an Xbox One, and that's where I downloaded the DAZN app so I can watch it on my TV. I can also watch it on my phone, equally as good. I've tested it on PlayStation 4 as well, and I've tested it also on an Apple. It's not mine, so I don't know, the Apple TV box, I think it's called. I also mirrored it using an iPhone, and it worked perfectly. So there's multiple ways of watching the zone. I know some people claim that, I mean, I'm not gonna watch a fight on my phone. It's like, well, you can. There's multiple. I just mentioned multiple ways where you can project or stream your television. In conclusion, I would get the zone if I lived in the US for $10. Like I said, you don't get as many sports as the Canadian version, but you do get boxing, you do get some MMA. That's good enough for me. That's $10 a month. Alright, you get the World Boxing Super Series, all the Matchroom boxing fights, Golden Boy fights are gonna be showing there, and all the Canelo fights. So instead of paying $75 for a pay-per-view for one night, you can pay $10 every month, and you get not only all the Canelo fights, which would be pay-per-view otherwise, but you get, like I said, all the Matchroom boxing fights, all the World Boxing Super Series fights. I think it's a great app. Definitely, you guys should get it. And if you live in Canada, there's no way that you shouldn't be getting this. All right, you get much more than the US version. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you next time.